You have to have a legitimate reason why USCIS should expedite your case in front of all the others. So just think of that. Write it smartly, write it tactfully, and make it make sense. So
hey guys, welcome back. It's me again, Jessa and Travis.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is a highly requested video and I'm going to walk you through it as best as I can. Everyone wants to know, what did me and Jessa do to get our USCIS case expedited? And that's a great question. So I don't know if it's going to work for everybody. So disclaimer, this doesn't work for everybody, okay? You have to have a circumstance where you are required to have it expedited. Let me go over my situation first. As you know, I'm active duty. All right, so in my expedited letter, I addressed my letter to my commanding officer. Basically, my commanding officer endorsed my letter stating that all of the things I put in my letter was true. And that letter went to my congressman. So first step, reach out to your congressman. If you're American, reach out to your congressman, and you need to get concurrence with your congressman, and the reason why you need to request it. They're going to ask you to get a letter from your commanding officer, from your CO, stating why you need your case expedited. Now, this can vary on the reasons for the expeditious case, okay? So mine happens to be that I'm highly deployable. So I just came from overseas, right? Where obviously we know it's very difficult to process the K-1s overseas. It's time consuming, there's no embassies around. And typically you're away from your partner. I keep getting pinged for what we call deployments, right? So they keep pinging me for deployments. So I'm like, well, okay. So because they keep asking me to deploy, right? I'm quietly putting it off, saying, oh, I can't go, blah, 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 right? Which is true, I can't go yet. I need this process to be done. However, that was my reason to expedite the visa. I'm like, well, hey, I keep getting pinged for deployments. It's only so long where I can't say no anymore, and it's really gonna mess up my family life, okay? And your family life is very important. You have to have a healthy balance. So I put up my letter stating, hey, these are the reasons for being expedited. I'm highly deployable, and I was just overseas for 5 years, and XYZ. This is why it's imperative that I get my case expedited so I can do this before something happens, such as a deployment. Now, if you do not have those kind of circumstances, it's going to be circumstantial. It's going to be case-by-case basis for USCIS. Once that letter is approved, though, so say you have good circumstances and you get the letter approved, great. Now you can also use that letter for the NVC as well. You just have to send it in with your NVC paperwork. So now this letter can also work for civilians. However, you have to have a job where it's, say you have a job where you're traveling around the world. That would be a reason. Or there's something critical in your life, whereas you need to expedite it, and it's a legitimate reason where immigration would say, okay, yes, that is a reason to expedite this. Think about it like this. There's 1,000 people in line to get this done. Why should you move ahead of the line? What circumstance do you have that makes you more important than the rest of the line? Do they take military as precedent? Sometimes, yes. In my case, they did, because I've been overseas. I've been in the military for quite a while. We've been working on the process for quite a while. I finally get back home where I feel like we can get this process done, and boom, I'm tag you're it to go back overseas again. So where's my break? I don't get one. So they seen our case as one of those case-by-case bases, like, wow, okay, yeah, this letter makes sense. It was endorsed by a CO, and I had congressional backing. That's key. You need to talk to your congressman, okay? That was a big one because they inquire on your behalf. So if USCIS is taking too long, then you reach out to your congressman, get their backing. They're going to ask you for these things. Like, okay, we're going to back you, but what makes your case different than everybody else's? And if you can justify that, then they'll back you. So that's like the main thing. I know this is a pretty short video and I don't want to go too in depth with everything, but that is basically the gist of it. You have to have a legitimate reason why USCIS should expedite your case in front of all the others. So just think of that. Write it smartly, write it tactfully, and make it make sense. So if I was going to read your letter, and if I was immigration, I would say, wow, yeah, this couple, we need to push this case through before they're out of time. So whatever that instance may be for you, may not be for me or for another person. Every case is different. So make sure you explain why your case is important and why your case needs to be expedited. But that key is that congressional backing. Make sure you reach out to your congressman. And you get that support from them, and they will support you. Mine did. I'm from Michigan. My congressman, I believe it was Huizenga, supported me. So kudos to you. Thank you, Congressman. Your office did a great job in supporting us, and we ended up having our from USCIS to visa approval. I mean, that's all the way through to visa approval, 8 months. I know this can take years for people. We did it in 8 months, but I also was persistent. I was following up all the time, sending my OQE, my objective qualified evidence, as to why I need my case moved faster. Like, I was like, look, I can't wait. We need this to keep rolling. If you're not getting answers, you make a phone call. Not getting answers, make another phone call. Shoot an email off. You drive this process. If you are not making phone calls and you are not trying to get it moved along faster, it's not going to go anywhere, and it'll sit in a stack. And when they get to it, they get to it. So make sure you're putting the effort in and doing these things. Me and Jessa did not have a lawyer. We did everything do it yourself. Everything we did was do it yourself. So, you know, we're blessed. Everything worked out like we needed it to. And I hope this video helped you have an idea of what type of letter you need to make. If you're a civilian, make sure it's endorsed by your bosses, saying like, yes, my, this individual, travels XYZ, this is why. Just like my commanding officer endorsed our letter. If you're a civilian, you also need your higher up, your boss, where he can say, yes, this is true. Not a mid-level supervisor. I'm talking about an actual supervisor. So if there's any questions, please, leave the comments below. I'll try to get to them as fast as I can. But I hope this video helps some of you, and thanks for watching.